All right, when you think of animation, what comes to mind? Probably Saturday morning cartoons, right? Well, let's forget that for a minute. The animation that really shapes our lives today, it's not on a movie screen. It's right there in your pocket, it's on your desktop, and you know what? It's being built by artists, sure, but also by engineers and even AI. We're going to dive into this totally surprising, super high-tech world of modern animation, from the little swipes on your phone to puppets literally brought to life by 3D printers. So, it really all kicks off with this debate. And this quote from a Reddit user, Schroeder8, just nails it. I'm not convinced that the principles for characters translate to UI design. This is the core question, right? Animators and designers are basically asking, do those classic old-school rules of animation, the ones Disney made famous for bringing characters to life, do they even matter when we're talking about the apps and websites we use every single day? Okay, Section 1, Beyond the Cartoon Character. So let's really dig into that clash, the art of animating a character versus the science of animating an interface. Are these even the same thing, or are we talking about two totally separate universes? And this slide, wow, it just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got your classic character principles, things like squash and stretch. That's what makes a character feel like they have weight, that cartoony bounce. Or arcs, to make movement feel natural and graceful. The whole point is to breathe life into something. But then you look at the other side, the UI principles, and it's a completely different ballgame. It's all about speed, clarity, feedback. The goal here isn't to make you feel something, it's to help you do something. It's pure, unadulterated function. All right, let's move on. Section 2, animation you use daily. Yeah, let's get personal. Let's talk about the animation you're interacting with constantly, probably without even thinking about it. We're shifting from the big screen to that little screen right there in your pocket. Every swipe, every tap, every menu that slides open, that's all animation. And believe me, it has its own very specific set of rules. I love this quote. Another Redditor, Texan101, says, UI is not a movie. It's supposed to be as invisible as possible. It better not be doing Disney dance per click. And that just perfectly sums up the philosophy, right? It's not supposed to be a show. It's not there to entertain you. Actually, the best UI animation is the kind you don't even notice. It's so smooth, so functional, that it just happens. Its job is to get you from point A to point B, not to put on a little performance with every click. So if it's not a show, what is it? Well, above all else, it's got to be fast. And this piece of advice from Matigo Gamer is just brilliant. The guide for UI animation speed: make their durations as short as you can. Then have it. Think about that. Good UI animation has to feel instant. It's all about respecting your time. It's there to give you a quick visual cue about what's happening without ever slowing you down. So the rule is, if you think it's fast enough, it's probably not. Make it twice as fast. Okay, let's do a complete 180 now. We're going from the digital and invisible to something incredibly physical and hands-on. Section 3, the high-tech puppet show. Yep, we're talking about stop motion. And before you write it off as some old-fashioned, quaint technique, don't. It has always been on the cutting edge of technology. And this timeline just proves it. We're talking more than a century of evolution here. I mean, it starts way back in the late 1800s with simple film tricks. But then, get this, in the early 1900s, you've got guys like Ladislav Starevich literally animating puppets made from insect skeletons. How wild is that? And that push for innovation never, ever stopped. You fast forward all the way to today, and you've got studios like Leica using state-of-the-art 3D printers to make thousands of unique faces for their puppets. This allows for an emotional range that would have been unthinkable before. See, it's always been this incredible marriage of art and technology. Okay, so if you thought 3D printing puppets was futuristic, you might want to buckle up. We're about to jump even further ahead. Section 4, Teaching AI to Animate. We're now talking about a world where an AI can be taught to create animation just from simple text commands. And this is all thanks to a mind-blowing research project called PAT. Just look at this. Seriously, this entire jump attack, no human animator touched it. It was completely generated by an AI. All someone had to do was type in the command, jump and swing sword down. And the system, because it understands physics, just created this whole complex, totally believable movement, all on its own, from scratch. That's insane. And here we go again, another amazing example. The command here was just shield charge forward. Now, the AI doesn't just make the character run. Look closer. It actually understands the physics of hitting that block. It knows how to knock it over in a way that looks and feels real. This isn't just a party trick. This is a huge leap forward in making animation tools that are way more intuitive for everyone. So the big question is, how on earth does this work? Well, it breaks down into basically 3 steps. First up, you've got skill embedding. Think of this like building a dictionary. The AI looks at a massive library of animations and their text descriptions, and it learns to connect the word jump with the action of jumping. Next, there's policy training. This is where the AI basically plays a video game with itself, practicing those skills over and over to get them just right. And finally, the whole thing comes together with multitask aggregation. This is the brain, a smart Q&A system that can read your command, figure out what you want, pick the right skill from its library, and apply it to the right thing in the scene. Okay, let's take a breath. We have covered a lot of ground. We've gone from debates about button clicks on your phone to 3D printed puppets, all the way to AI that can animate on command. So what's the big takeaway? Well, it means the very definition of an animator has completely changed. Their toolkit isn't just a pencil and paper anymore. It's code, it's 3D printers, it's artificial intelligence. So really, who is a modern animator today? Well, they could be the UI/UX designer making sure your favorite app feels amazing to use. They could be a puppet fabricator in a stop-motion studio working with complex 3D printers. They could literally be a research scientist teaching an AI how to walk and run. The career paths have just exploded into all these new areas that mix pure artistry with some serious technical skills. We're talking motion graphics for data visualization, or being a technical artist who builds the entire animation pipeline for a massive video game. It's a whole new world. And all of this brings us to one final, really important question. As AI gets better and better at doing the heavy lifting of animation, what's left for the human artist? Well, their role isn't going away. Not at all. It's just evolving. It's moving away from the painstaking frame-by-frame labor and more towards being the director, the storyteller, the one with the vision and the taste. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. In a future where anyone can tell an AI to make something move, what incredible stories will you choose to tell?